There we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So, yeah, so. Hey, I'm right here, bro. Hey. Woo!
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Yeah, sorry bro, but this show's about me.
What's up, everybody? It's good to be back. Good to see everybody. It's something different, but not different. So I got a customer brought me in another bike to get back up and running again. This one was brought to me and he's like, yeah, it's a custom bike and blah, blah, blah. And he's kind of giving me the stuff. And I was like, well, send me a picture and we'll see if it's something that I can work on for you. And he sent me a picture and lo and behold, I know exactly what this is. Do you know what this is? That's right. It's a Kenny Boyce frame, FXR based bike. What makes it an FXR based bike is it has the rubber mounted motor and it has the rear rubber mounted supports like an FXR or an early style, actually all style bagger. And it's got the exposed shocks like a bagger or a FXR would have, except it doesn't have the triangulated piece like an FXR does. Has a horseshoe oil tank like a Softail. So, but yeah, so he brought it in. He's moving back. He's an old Texas resident, lived in California, moving back to Texas from California, and bought this from, I don't know if it's a friend of his or just somebody he knew. I don't remember how he found it, but a gentleman built this bike, doesn't have very many miles on it. His health isn't the best, so he thought he would let it go to somebody else that's going to enjoy it. And so my customer came from California on his way moving back to Texas, picked it up in Colorado, brought it to Texas, unloaded some of his stuff. The next morning, he brought it straight to the shop. So it's been sitting here for a few days. They put a fresh battery in it and a brand new rear tire. And he brought it to me. He wants me to just get it up and running. He tried to start it. He said he had no spark. A lot of dry rot on the front tire, so we're gonna do a front tire on it. I already ordered the front tire. It's in. They put a cruise tech on it before he got it. I mean, it's brand new, still has the little on it. So we're gonna do a cruise tech on the front. It's got a new battery, but I tried to start it and it didn't want to start. So I put it on the trickle charger, ordered the battery, ordered some oil, a three-hole oil change kit, and so that's what we're gonna do. So let's jump right into this right now, okay? So first off, he said it has no spark. So what I have is I have these cool little, they're spark testers. So you put one, you take the spark plug wire off of the spark plug, put it on there, and then you put it on here, turn it on, make sure it's in neutral, put it to run. We're gonna hit the start button. Nope, no spark, so he was right. So what I'm gonna do first is, whoa, turn the ignition off. There we go. Remove the seat. Let's just check the wiring, see how the wiring looks. And then I'll probably remove the upper coil bracket, and let's just double check to make sure there's no broken wires or anything like that. And let's do that first. So right off the bat, I'm not a big fan of the way these wires are routed. They're routed on top, so that seat was pushing down on all these wires. Me personally, I'm not a fan of that. So I'm gonna put this back in. But everybody builds their bikes different. That's how this gentleman built his, so I mean, just, sorry I'm not talking much. I'm just kind of looking over everything. Make sure there's no wires that are like completely smushed or pinched or anything like that. I don't see any of that. Looks like everything's in somewhat good shape. Battery tender. Like I said, I just don't like how it's so smushed on there. And why is the paint chip right there so bad? Anyways, I don't know. feel like an idiot. I was walking around looking for Allen wrenches, and I'm noticing there's a set right there next to my FXR. Crazy. So let me go ahead and pull these coils off real quick. I see the problem right off the bat. I'm not going to touch it so I can show you. Check this out. So your blue and your pink are going to be front coil, rear coil, and then that's going to be your power wire to your coils. I can almost guarantee you, I don't know if it's going to focus on that or not. That wire sticking out. I can almost guarantee that is not plugged in. So I had to grab my cell phone. What I do usually when I'm doing stuff like this, I always take pictures of when I find problems or issues or anything with the bike, and I text it to the customer. Obviously, I don't know if you can tell, it's late at night. It's Texas, so I come in early and I stay late to beat the heat, and hopefully we'll have something changed about that. But I like to take pictures. That way I can send it to my customers so they know what they're paying for. I charge by the hour. I don't give quotes. I can give a rough estimate, like it's gonna be under $100,000. That's an easy estimate, right? But it's hard when you're working on custom bikes or anything custom. It's hard to gauge how much to charge somebody. Like, what is it gonna cost? I don't know. So unfortunately, I have to have a customer base that they just bring it to me. They trust that I'm not gonna screw them over. So to make them feel better, I want them when they wake up or before they go to bed, they get a text from me like, hey, this is a problem, that's a problem, this is what it's gonna take to fix it, and blah, blah, blah. And so hopefully that works. And people can understand that, but some people can't. Some people have different budgets, and I've been one of those people. I've been a person that's had to pay for stuff before. I mean, we all do, all kinds of stuff, you know. So I try to be fair. Actually, I don't try to be fair. I am fair. Know what I was thinking. Yeah, I can almost guarantee you once I fix this, I don't want to pinch it. Let me grab some. What the hell did I do to these pliers? Not sure what I did to those pliers, but they're jacked. So, whatever. Throw them in the gutter, go buy another. Just want to see if this is, well, it's actually still in the pin. So that may not be the problem. Yeah, the wire's sticking out, but it's still connected to the pin pretty good. Let me just push that pin out. Take a look at it. Is this not the right tool? Definitely my least favorite connector, so give me a second. Let me figure out how I'm going to depin this, and we'll go from there. So I got a test light, and I went ahead, got the ignition on, and tested both sides. Got power on this side and power on this side. So I know we're getting power to the coils, so that being loose isn't an issue. It could be an issue down the road, so that will be replaced or repaired. I'll probably put a Deutsch connector on there just because I like those better than these crappy things. So now let's see if we're getting, trying to think here. Don't remember if it throws ground or if it throws power. I think it throws a ground, right? This is hot. Now I'm getting spark. That felt good. Not. Oh. So now I'm getting spark. So it had to have been a loose connection in this connector here. So we're gonna redo that connector, and hopefully that's a problem unless it's something else in here going crazy. But one thing, I'm gonna get roasted. I know I'm gonna get roasted. I know, I can feel it. Harley Davidson spark plugs, I hate them. They're made by Champion, and they're just junk. They foul out really bad. They foul out really quick and really bad on carbureted motors and early twin cams. It's not my cup of tea. I like just NGK spark plugs with a 40 thousandths gap. Like, I've never had any problems with them. I'll have to look up the number. I'll give you the number before this episode ends. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plugs. Just take a look at the plugs, see how they look. And then if they look okay, we're gonna put them back in, and we're gonna see if we can get this thing started up, actually, to fire up. So let me pull these plugs and take a look at them. So I got the plugs out, and they don't look bad. They kind of look oily. They smell like rotten gas. So what I'm going to do, since I don't have any plugs right now for this bike, what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of sand. Oh, actually, I think I'm going to pull some out of my my FXR and throw them in here. But usually what you do is just get sandpaper and just kind of sand the bottom side of this. I don't think that's the electrode. I forgot what that's called, but the little electrode inside, get the top of it cleaned up real good. That way you get a good, bright, gnarly spark. So gnarly spark. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably snag some out of my bike, throw them in here because they're brand new. The motor's never been fired. So I'll grab those. We'll throw them in here, and we'll try to get this thing fired up. Well, I just have brand new Harley plugs sitting in my bike, so we're just gonna throw these in for now. Like I said, I'll order some new ones before this bike leaves. But at least we got brand spanking new plugs. They were actually in my bike, and I was just using them as placeholders. Alrighty. Put these on. If you don't mind, could you step aside for a second, please? Choke on, key on, soda can. Fuel smells horrible, so we're gonna clean out the carb. So I'm super bummed. The battery gave out. Kind of figures. It says interstate, but it's not the good interstate that you're supposed to have in there, the GAY one, the gay one, or the FAG. I forgot if it's FAG or GAY, but trust me, it's legit. I'm not just calling it So this battery doesn't hold charge for crap. So I'm gonna have to charge it again so I can continue testing, but I did loosen up the tank. I looked at the carb, and I'm hitting the accelerator pump, and there's gas squirting in, so I think we're okay there. We won't really know until we get it running to not have to redo the carb, because I thought they said it was running, but it just lost spark. So now I kind of been following the wires to figure out why it's not being consistent with spark. I really hate these wiring plugs that they have on this bike, but messing with some stuff, it started sparking again, but not enough juice to actually fire it off. So I'm going to charge the battery, and we'll come back once the battery's charged. Hopefully that's tonight. So I kind of cheated. Well, I didn't cheat, I forgot. So yeah, on the bike, I went ahead and I took the gas tank off, obviously. I loosened it before to check the wiring. It just, to me, seemed like the plug was the problem, so I replaced the plug. And you can see here I'm running a Deutsch connector plug. It's a lot better plug in my opinion, and that's usually what I wire bikes with. And then I noticed I was getting spark, so let me get rid of these, because now I have spark. I hooked up my my little gas bottle, and what that does is our auxiliary gas tank is what I hooked up. As soon as I hooked it up and I turned it on, because I was about to hit record and show you guys, started spewing gas everywhere, so the float was stuck open. Got that fixed, and then I drained the gas. I had to run to the gas station and get some fresh fuel. And then I fired it up, and it was running kind of weird, but I think a lot of times people will turn the top screw, that copper brass screw on the top of the carburetor of an S&S carb, and when they do that, they think it's idle, and it's not. That's the air fuel mixture screw. So the bike wouldn't run just a second ago, so I put it back to factory. I think I did it like 1.5 out. So let's give it another try. Gas is on. Choke. Voila, we got a running bike. Cool. Basically what I did is I checked the wiring. It seemed to be the plug, that white plug that was on the front by the coils didn't seem to be right. So I put a whole new sheathing, because there was a spot where it looked like it maybe had pinched, but it was just pinched on the heat shrink, not the actual wire itself. So yeah, so just double checked all the wiring to the ignition system. It seems to be working just fine. This is just kind of like rubbing on me, so hopefully. There we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So yeah, so drained the gas tank, got rid of the gas, because looking in it, it didn't look bad. And the reason it didn't look bad, that's an aluminum gas tank. Like when I took it off, it was like paperweight. It was so light. So that's pretty cool. But drained the gas, went ahead and got rid of that gas, went and got like 3 gallons, whatever, $10 worth of super unleaded. Put some in the little canister there. So now I'll end up putting the gas tank back on, bolting everything back on, crossover line and everything. I did take the carburetor, the float bowl off, cleaned it all out, cleaned the float out, got rid of all the trash. So now obviously it's not, I don't think, nope, it's not flowing gas all over the place. Cleaned the carb, cleaned the main jet, cleaned the pilot jet, put it right back together. I didn't rejet it. I didn't do nothing like that. I want to ride it to see if it needs rejetting. It might just be air fuel mixture screw and be good to go, because it is coming from Colorado, but I don't know what part of Colorado. So it's, I mean, Colorado in general has a higher altitude than Texas, but we'll see. I've got to ride it. But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put the gas tank back on it, hook everything back on, put fresh fuel in it, and then I'll take the front wheel off, put the new fresh tire on it, and probably tomorrow night we'll take it for a ride and see how it runs. Oh, need to warm it up, take it for a little test ride here, and I'm going to dump the fluids, put fresh fluids in it. I did notice that the clutch is a little loose. I'll go over that where I like the clutch to be. If you have little hands, that might be okay, but to have it properly disengaged when you're at a light, you don't want as much slop as that's. You don't want as much slop in the cable or the lever as this one does now. So yeah, we're gonna continue charging the battery, and let me get this bike put back together and throw a wheel on it, and we'll go for a little test ride. All right. What is good, people? So yeah, next day, fresh to death. Went ahead and brought the lift up. Sorry. Went ahead and brought the lift up. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my tools from yesterday. I just dropped tools and left. It was hot. Excuse me. But got all of the wiring back on, got the gas tank on, put some fuel in it. You saw all of that. So got everything back up and running. I'm going to go ahead and snag the lift, scissor lift from here, put on this bike. Let's get the front end up, get this wheel removed, get the new tire on it. Then I can warm it up, take it up and down the block just to get the oils moving. We're going to jump all the fluid, and then we're going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit. I did talk to the customer. He wanted to, let me look. Okay, this is a standard motor case. So he wanted to do something different with the speedometer because the mileage on the Speedo doesn't match the mileage on the motor, and he wanted to kind of get it close. Usually on something like that, you really can't do it. You just got to keep track of how many miles was on the motor compared to the mileage on the Speedo, and if it's 1,000 miles, then you're just gonna have to remember that and just subtract it every time you think about it. The only other way is to go digital. With the digital Speedo, the problem is this is a front cable-driven speedometer. So the only way you can do that is to put a little cable in one brand new speedometer and then just with a drill sit there until you get up to the miles. But what if you have 20,000 miles? How long would that take on a drill? Anyways, I'm not going to do the math. So the only way you can do is like a Dakota Digital. I think within the first 100 miles, once you hit 100 miles, that Speedo locks in. But before the 100 miles hits, you can go in there and actually type in how many miles was on the bike, and then it'll lock in at 100 miles that you put on it. The next 100 miles you put on it. I guess that's how I would explain it. But anyways, so after that new Speedo has been used for 100 miles, it's locked up. You can't touch it. You can't get in it. No mower, no mas is done. So that's the only other way. The problem is this one doesn't have a late model. I thought because it's being an aftermarket frame, it had the aftermarket, because it's got an S&S motor. Maybe it had an aftermarket transmission. It may have, but it's got a true to OEM style transmission, so it doesn't have the hole for the speedometer pickup. On my 94 FXR, it is a year shy of electronic speedometer, but when I put in the 6-speed transmission or the Jim's Fat 5, when you put that in, the trap doors that they come with already have a hole for Speedo pickups. So you can either drill and tap or drill out a spot and then tap the hole to hold the Speedo pickup on a normal transmission, but you got to pull the gear set out. You got to, like, it's some work to do it. Right now, the way my FXR is would be the perfect time to do it, but I'm not doing that because the gear set comes with a hole. So instead of having to block off and the 6-speed hole, I'm just going to use the 6-speed hole, and that's going to run the Dakota Digital on my 94 FXR. So anyways, back to this bike. Let me get this going. Let me clean up some tools, and we'll get this all taken care of. All right. As I was pulling this tire off, I thought I would go over this again. I may have told you this or may not. Little tech tip here. Anytime you're getting a new tire put on your bike, when you do that, be sure to take it with the rotors. You want to make sure you're getting your wheel balanced with your rotors. If you got like a fancy valve stem cap, you want to make sure that's on there also. Put it to the correct weight, air pressure, excuse me. Be sure to put it to the correct air pressure that you're going to be running in the tire. That's how you want it to get balanced. One, the machine uses the rotors to kind of keep it flat in the machine, so that way when you're balancing it. Two, that's a rotating mass. If you got like a heavy CNC cut billet aluminum rotor or something like that, it's going to be spinning. You want to make sure that's in balance. That rotor could throw off the balance on your tire. If you change your bolts, if you change anything on the front end, get it rebalanced, because you want to make sure that that mass is going as smooth as possible. So just wanted to let you know I'm about to go upstairs and pop this tire out, put the new one on, and get it balanced. But I just wanted to make sure that I let you know. Because sometimes I'll have people bring me a wheel and tire, or yeah, a wheel and tire, like, hey, I want you to change the tire. I'm like, cool. I can't balance it though. Well, why not? Like, you don't have your rotors, you don't have your pulley. The rear tires, you want to have that pulley on there. Anything that's going to be rotating with the wheel, you want it to all balanced as one unit. So I'll send them home to get their pulley or rotors, or I'll mount the tire and send them on their way and just tell them it's not balanced, because I won't even waste my time putting it on the balancer because it's not going to be balanced. See? All right, so got the front wheel on and calipers back on, and sorry, I'm different camera, so if it looks a little color difference, but front wheel on. Got the brakes pumped back up so that way when you're rolling off the lift, it doesn't take off. You try to grab the brake and there's nothing there. Ah! But yeah, so balanced out really good. ½ ounce of weight, not a big deal. The clutch is a little bit loose, looser than I like, so I'll adjust that when I'm doing the primary fluid. Yeah, I'm gonna take it off the lift, take it for a little ride, warm stuff up, bring it back, put it on the lift, drop all the fluids, put in fresh fluids, and we'll put some miles on it, make sure everything's good for him to ride it and enjoy this bike, his new bike. All right, so bike's pretty much done. Right now, he opted for a Canon air filter to get rid of that foam filter for the S&S breather. So I just got that installed, and I got the auto lights. The auto lights for the Evos that I like are the 4265, so 4265 auto light plugs. They burn a little bit hotter, so they resist fouling out as much as they resist fouling out more than the Harley Champion plugs do. So that's what I like. That's why I like to run these. So right now I'm going to go ahead and gap them real quick. I'm going to go ahead and gap them at 40 and throw them bad boys in there. Just a tiny bit of NICs. Slap them in there and take this bad boy down the street. See if we can get it sent home today. Gotta make that money. Yeah, a lot of people spend big money on spark plugs, and these auto lights are probably like $4 a piece, $3 to $4 a piece, maybe $5 a piece, but not very expensive. I've seen people put those high-dollar dual electrode, whatever those ones are, and seen those electrodes break off, and just auto light 4265s. Done, son. Got that on my finger, and I gotta find a napkin to wipe it off. This is a good way to end FXR Friday. To ride an FXR and give it back to its customer, or give it back to its owner. My bad. Take this for a ride and let you know how it goes. Hate the way that rack rattles when a bike's running on it. Got like a real bad squeak. Bottom out on that, so you gotta be gentle with it. what's weird with forward controls.